What's up, everybody? The Boxing Source checking in here, and I'm here at Hillcrest Boxing Gym, and I got one of the coaches here that's been at the gym for a good little minute, man. It's Coach Metro in the building. What's going on, Coach Metro?
Hey, brother, how you doing? I'm doing well.
I'm doing okay. Just seeing here, you've been doing a lot of work with the fighters here over at Hillcrest Boxing Gym, so I wanted to catch up with you and everything like that, and how your relationship has been with a number of the fighters that have been at the gym. For example, with Francois Scarborough Jr. or Irvin Fuller III or Maximus Garland, or how is it to kind of like work with these young fighters as they come up there in their professional careers?
Well, it's going very well, actually. The best thing is I have a good relationship with my fighters. We work hard every day. We run over the things that we need to run over, and it's been going great, man. I have a very good relationship with all of them.
Yeah, no doubt. I've seen you, there in the corner when the fights happen there. You're there with Coach Nesto for a number of the fighters there. Like, for example, in September, they're at, the Care First Arena. They changed that name about 11 times.
Right.
But, you still had that there, of course, with Frankie Scarborough Jr. there, right. Irvin Fuller that was there in action in that. So, you had a thing there with Irvin Fuller that was able to, score a knockout victory or stop his victory on there. So kind of like, how does it feel to see like a lot of the work that you have been doing with them in camp and you see those results there in the ring?
Oh, man, it's amazing, man. It's amazing to be able to see that the work that we put in is very progressive. You know what I'm saying? The talent that they have is, man, unbelievable. So, yeah, I'm very happy for them. Very.
Yeah. So, when you like work with a number of the fighters here, like I failed to mention, of course, like, current world champion there, Tiara Brown, that comes here in the camp, to prepare for fights. That you're there and you kind of like see that, okay, this is what you could do, or as far as like sharpening and things like that. So sometimes when I talk to fighters, I say that it's better if you're able to have as many fights as possible within like a year's time or 12 months time, because by the time you get one fight done, it's not that much downtime for you to get back in the gym. Sometimes, or even if it's like a gym rat, there's still like a different type of a vibe when that there's a fight coming up. So like, how are you like able to instill in like some of the fighters that like you got to be able to come and be in a go through on a consistent basis and stay sharp, whether you have a fight that's coming real soon or it might be a good little bit before the next fight comes through?
Well, I always tell them at the end of the day, you gotta, in order for you to maintain what you have, you got to stay ready so you don't have to get ready. You have to be dedicated and be focused on the task at hand. It's not easy, doing this sport. So in order for you to be able to get to where you want to go, you got to be focused. Yeah. And you have to understand that, the place that you want to go is somebody else trying to get in your spot.
Yeah.
So you gotta be you gotta be mentally and physically focused on what you want to do.
Yeah, no doubt. And the thing is, like, being in camp, trying to keep the fighter sharp and things like that. Like, it could be a point where you would say like, all right, we've gone through this like a few times, and you get, and then they still miss out, and sometimes it gets to be a little bit frustrating and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But how is it to like kind of like have them keep their composure so that once they're able to stay focused, and then they'll be able to do what they need to do in drills, and then you'll be able to execute it like in the ring?
Well, at the end of the day, when we go over drills, we make sure that they understand what we're doing. We make sure that they understand why we're running through this and what this is going to help. So when they go in there and they get ready to spar and we have them try the things out, and it's like, okay, do you see now why we actually do this? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man.
Yeah, given just a valid reason of why you're able to implement certain things, or if you see something there as far as like whether it's in sparring or like in the ring, because you're like the third eye,
right?
There in a, as I say, a chessboard. With the ring, I say it's like a chessboard. You got to be able to make the right moves in order to get the win there on that front. Now, wanted to talk about you being part of the team here at Hillcrest, with Coach Nesto and a lot of the people that's been part of Hillcrest Boxing Gym here. Like, how is it having that relationship with those guys?
Well, being here is like a family, man. I've been here for going on 6 years now. I look at Nesto as a mentor, father figure. You know, outside of boxing, man, he's a tremendous man. You know, he shows me a lot. With the fighters, like I said, I have a very good relationship with all of them. You know, talking to them about things outside of boxing. But when it's time to go to work, we go to work. You know what I'm saying? We focus on the things that we need to do. And like I said, I love being here because it's not just about boxing, but it's when I'm here with Nesto, because he's also a pastor, so he's also able to teach me things that I don't understand. So like I said, man, I'm very grateful to be in the position that I'm in.
Yeah, you know, it's one thing to have a vision, but you know, if you have someone else that could, you know, show you something that maybe you didn't know before, it could kind of like make things a whole lot bigger as far as like, you know, what's going down, and having that type of relationship with Coach Nesto kind of like gets that there. But you talk about the family atmosphere that we have here at Hillcrest Boxing Gym, so it kind of like shows you the level of comfortability that's within this gym here. And of course, here with you, Coach Mestro, you're definitely a big part of all that. So you know, you're able to, you know, do the work here, and we all see the results. So I want to give a shout out to you for taking the time to speak with the Boxing Source. And
thank you so much.
We gonna work on getting more interviews here.
Yes,
real
sir.
soon.
Yes, sir.
All right, for sure.